the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Had to run to do an errand real quick, so I thought I'd bring you with me. Me and the little one is in the truck. You can say hi. You have to lean over.
Hi.
She's all excited for her first debut appearance on the channel. Anyways, wanted to kind of rehash some things that you should already know. Maybe some of you don't, but most of you should. If you didn't watch the video I released earlier today, you should certainly go watch that. And talking about kind of a nationwide set-in, or I prefer to call it, cultural secession, or at least a major step in cultural secession, which is where we just say, you know what, we're not part of this anymore. We're not part of it. We're going to passively resist the system, and truck drivers are just going to park their rigs, and people aren't going to go to work, and people will withdraw their money from the bank accounts and sell off their stocks and pull their children out of school. And I know that sounds very extreme for a lot of you, but I think the powers, the elite, the corporate, the big banking cartels, they, in the back of their minds, you know what they're thinking? Let the fleas get out there and the little ants get out there and fight and argue and stand up, and we'll throw them in jail. We'll make a little off of them, and then they think they've got a little freedom for a while, but in the end, they're still using all of our system because they can't exist without it. They still have to use our banks. They still have to use our cell phone companies. They still have to go to our schools, and they still have to, drive on our roads and pay our taxes and all that. Well, the other option is just to say, no, we don't. That comes at a pretty steep cost for a lot of people, but it is doable. And if it were done, I believe it's very possible that a lot of what's happening could very quickly be turned around. So for those of you, I'm not saying to do it. I don't have a big enough voice to organize anything. I mean, if things started kind of catching some interest of people, I would be involved in that. But what if something like that happened? Or what if it wasn't of your own choice that happened? What if it happened because you've been deemed a potential threat, a political extremist, and so now they're shutting your bank accounts down, and they're canceling your insurance policies, and they're seizing your property, and they're taking your kids and all this kind of stuff. So in a way, your choices are to do it on your own accord, at your own hand, or to potentially face these threats from the powers that rule. And so what I wanted to talk to you today, just briefly, is just what you need to do to get ready for it. You really need to be ready. And really, the way that you're ready for it is in the same ways that you prepare for anything else. So I just wanted to kind of give you a friendly reminder of some of those things. Obviously, stocking up on food. That's really important. Food prices are continually going up, and in every way that you can look at the prices, the future prices of food, they're going to go up even further. With fertilizer shortages, with all the different weather problems that's happened all over the world, grand solar minimum, with the shipping delays, the supply chain delays, food is only going to go up. And food, depending on what area and what type of food, has gone up anywhere between 10 and 30-some%. It's only going to get worse. It's going to become more scarce. So you have to stock up on food. And that means everything that you can. I believe it should be a priority. For some of you, you may just set aside a little bit of money for preps. I strongly encourage you to look at it as one of the most important things, at least for right now, that you do with your life. And that's, putting a lot of your resources into that, maybe even making some other financial sacrifices. Medicines are very important, and pretty much most of our medicines come from China, and the ones that don't come from China come from somewhere else. Almost no medicines are made in the United States, and that's including over-the-counter. So I would suggest you stock up on that stuff, because if World War III happens with Russia and China, and it looks like it's heading down that path sooner than later, those shipments of medicines could get cut off. Other things, and this is obviously food, but things like your whole grains, wheat, corn, prices are going up. They don't look very good. was looking at the ag reports the other day, and what they believe will happen in the future doesn't look very good. And when you consider fertilizer shortages and increases, it's just only going to get worse. And you need to be raising your own food also. Buy seeds, you need to be ordering those now. For a lot of you, you're getting pretty close to the time that you can start planting early cold weather, early spring crops, and also starting your indoor seeds so that you can transplant them later on. You need to be doing that. Take it very serious and plant as much as you possibly can. If you think that you have enough, probably plant more, because with this right now, too much is not a problem. Money, man, I'm not a financial advisor, but I wouldn't be putting my money anywhere that they could have hold of it. And I'd be getting it into more secure things like, precious metals, gold, silver, lead. Lead's a precious metal too, especially when it has copper on it. Just getting yourself mentally prepared is a big part too, because look at what's happened just in Canada in just a few days, what those people have gone through. And we're just seeing little short videos of the protests. None of us have yet seen or heard of the long-term repercussions. How many of these people lost their vehicles? Maybe they were the truck drivers, and their vehicles were taken from them. Will they ever get them back? Maybe not. How long will they be in jail? Who knows? The people from January 6th are still there. Money frozen, possibly animals taken from them, having problems with having children because, CPS, protective services are involved now because they brought their child to a protest. How much of these people's lives are going to be damaged for a long time and maybe forever? And I think that's really just a drop in a bucket of what we'll be facing in the future. So you have to get yourselves psyched up for that, ready for that, understanding that it's going to happen. I remember just a few days ago, and I don't know the names, but one of the ladies that was the organizers up there at the trucker convoy, she posted a video the night before she was arrested, emotionally upset, crying, and saying that she knew that she would most likely be arrested the next day, and she was kind of letting it all out. And then the next day, when it showed her actually being arrested, she was very calm. She was not emotional. She knew what was happening, and she handled herself very well. That's what I'm talking about. Get it out now. Go through all the emotions now. Think about it so that when it does happen, you're ready to take it on. Build community. Find others. I know it's hard. I get it. I've been there before. Only up until recent times have I been able to build that and be part of that, of like-minded preparedness, believers. But it's possible. There's all different kinds of ways. I have a website called TPH Network. It's a social media type website, very similar to something like Facebook or some of the other alternative ones. It's totally free to get on, and a lot of people are using that to meet others. Look for local meetings. There are more and more local meetings happening all over the country, and just build that connection. It's extremely important. Then last, it's probably the hardest one, is try to find yourself in a place that's much more survivable, that the ability to be self-sufficient is much easier. Meaning that, if you live in an apartment somewhere in a big city, if you're at all able to get out and get out to the country, I would do so. Even out here with the prices increase and stuff, I still see places. Saw one the other day. It was a rental property just outside of town, and we're talking one of these little tiny towns. Set on an acre, that's enough to have a good sized garden and some chickens. And I think it was a little house renting for, $500 a month. So it is possible. And this is part of that sacrifice. I've talked to many, many people in the last year or so, but they've made the sacrifice. They've sacrificed living in a big home. They've sacrificed a nice job. They've sacrificed moving away from friends and family. And they've sacrificed in other ways too. so that they could find themselves in a place that they knew that they could take care of their family. And of course, obviously, that's a place kind of like out here, what you see in the background. So I would strongly encourage you to do something like that. I know that's a huge step, but it is possible. And I talk to people almost daily now that have done it. People that have lived in nice, beautiful homes that are living in a tent right now while they build themselves a small little cabin. No joke. That have never done it before, but they realize that if they don't do it now, it'll be too late. So whether or not you choose to stand down or culturally secede, or it happens because Big Brother steps in and kicks you out of this party, you need to be ready. You need to be stocked up. Get your family ready. Be able to defend yourself, to protect yourself, to protect your family. Right now, ammunition's decently cheaper. Not as cheap as it once was, but certainly cheaper than it's been in the last 2 years. And the availability of most calibers have gone up to just about normal. Maybe it's a good time to stock up on that kind of stuff. Get ready, folks. I don't think that, Oh, she said something. I don't think that this is just all for show and nothing else. I think it's just going to keep getting worse. And I hope I'm wrong. Maybe I am. I hope I am. But I don't think that I am. And at this point, with all the stuff that's going on and what we're seeing, a person would be a fool to see it all happen and not do something to get ready for it. Thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next video.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.